Thorburn, Ikey Stevens, are just a few new names to sort of bring some new blood into the organisation, because it's been going a number of years. We do fundraising, usually a golf day every year, and then a big Hall of Fame dinner every 2 years. And that Hall of Fame dinner is usually held either at Sophia Gardens or in one of the big tents prior to one of the Six Nations games at Cardiff. And, we're talking about 1,000 people in a tent or in Sophia Gardens. And it raises a black tie dinner and raises lots of money, and there's a lot of memorabilia for auction and stuff like that. And we have some good speakers, and people come there to devote their time free. There's people who come there to sing, opera singers and all sorts. So yeah, that's the type of thing. And we meet about half a dozen times a year as a board to look at cases, and we decide on what we are able to give out.
So is there a link that people can give money to that or support it?
Well, if yes, you can just write a check, or there's no. I don't think we have got a website. That's only been up and running about a year or so, 2 years now. Obviously, we've lost a year with COVID, but a lot of people just make donations. There's a chap out there. He's a Welsh guy, and he's written a book, and every time he gets a royalty to his book, he just gives us all the money. He doesn't, it's amazing. And then we've got some benefactors like Stan Thomas is on the board. He's fantastic, Stan. He'll just, if we're short or something, or we need something paying for, he'll just, dip in his pocket. So Stan's been a great benefactor. We've got Nigel Short, who's on the board of the Scarlets. He's part of Penderyn Whiskey as well. Yeah, so we have got some businessmen who are on the committee as well.
I mean, it's a serious area, isn't it? Obviously, for some of those legends that you mentioned that wasn't professional, now it's professional. But actually looking after these individuals, men and women, that are putting their bodies on the line during their professional careers, and then making sure that there's something there for them afterwards is important, isn't it?
Dementia is a big part, certainly at the moment. I know there's a lot of links with bumps in rugby and football, etc. And we're starting to get that era of rugby player getting things like dementia and Alzheimer's and stuff. It's hard because families are faced sometimes with having to put their loved ones into full-time care because they can't run the cost of looking after them. There just isn't enough money to get enough care provided for these people 24/7. But we try our best. It's hard. It's getting harder. We don't have a big pot of money. A lot of the money goes to people who are desperate for operations. They're just on a waiting list and they're in terrible pain. Terrible arthritis problems and stuff. So you can't be waiting on a waiting list for 2 years waiting for an operation. So we try to sort the quick fix, or we just pay for a consultant, a simple thing like a consultation, just to get the ball rolling.
And you can't help feeling what we're hearing about dementia in sports players is probably the tip of the iceberg, considering what we know about it now and what the sort of impacts that the impacts that went on in those days. That's going to be a growing problem, isn't it? Yeah,
motor neuron as well. I've seen lots of rugby players unfortunately pass away with that, and we there's been high profile cases now. We see Doddy Weir and Rob Burrow, ex-rugby league. There's lots of people out there. Terrible illnesses. I mean, just you don't know what's around the corner. But like I say, it's if we can try and help, we do.
Thank you. Discussions for another time, I'm sure, as well, on a future podcast. A big thank you to John for joining us on the Aural Apothecary and for sharing his stories, his desert island drug, his career anthem, and his book. Over to Gimmo now for our contact details and the final ingredient.
Okay, so you can email us at auralapothecarypod@gmail.com or find us on Twitter at Aural Apothecary. So just like to finish off, it is St David's Day this week, and obviously some of us are celebrating Wales's win on Saturday. So I just wanted to talk really about the daffodil. So headline here from a couple of years ago: Welsh-grown daffodils help tackle Alzheimer's. Paris-based bio-research company Agroceutical Products is playing a role in the fight against Alzheimer's by harvesting Wales' national flower. Daffodils actually contain galantamine, which is a compound known to slow the progression of Alzheimer's symptoms. So that's being harvested on the side of a mountain because apparently it's to do with the height of where it's harvested affects the yield of the crop. So there you go, daffodil, not just a pretty flower.
This was a 3 Apothecaries production. Sound engineer Jimbo Slough. Original music Jamie Brewster. Artwork by David Baker.
Thanks for listening to the Aural Apothecary podcast. Caution, you may spontaneously combust if you take it too literally.